Hi guys! So I'm coming back for my second week to do another vlog. I hope you guys liked the last one. I know I got a couple of positive feedback, and that would be Nala. This is kind of her domain since nobody else really uses this room, so she'll probably come through the video a couple of times. So last time I promised you I'd speak up and I would clear my throat and I'd have a hot beverage. Well, I don't really have a hot beverage, but I do have a glass of wine, so I think it works out pretty well. I'm gonna, So today, I thought it was kind of one of these ideas that I've actually kind of wanted to write a post about for a while, but I never really felt inspired to actually put it into words. However, I can talk about it a lot. So I decided it was a pretty good vlog material, and that would be these bad boys, my curls. Also, ignore the roots that are like down here. I haven't dyed it in probably 6, 7, 8 months. I don't know if I will. I might just let it go all the way back out again. I haven't made up my mind. I keep going back and forth between let it grow out or re-dye it. I don't know. Anyways, so we're talking about these curls because my hair is actually kind of interesting. When I was born, it was curly, and then it all fell out, and then it was straight until I was about 10 or 11, and then it just went, and it got really fluffy, basically, and it went curly, but I didn't really even know that it was curly. I basically either wore it in a ponytail, or I straightened it every day. I mean, like, every day. There are people who didn't even know that my hair was anything but straight. Up until, like, college. I mean, and when I really started actually letting it go curly was more because I was being lazy. I was just tired of straightening my hair all the time. And I really do mean all the time. And it does get very tiring. And I think back now that I used to wake up at like 5 in the morning to straighten my hair before school. I was crazy. I don't know why I ever did that. So when I started really realizing that I actually have curls and not just a crazy hot mess, I started playing around with it, and now I've kind of come around to this method, if you will, for no heat curls. Now I do have curly hair, but why you can use this method even if you don't have curly hair is that when my hair is wet, if I run a comb through it, or a brush, ideally a comb, and then just let it dry, it will dry straight. I mean, the ends will kind of, go out to the sides a little bit and things like that. But for the most part, it's straight. Now, what it does do is poof out to like here. Like, it's huge, huge hair. And if you ever want to see that huge, ridiculous hair, you can friend me on Snapchat because I love to send people ridiculous pictures of my hair when it's just all kinds of crazy because it's all kinds of crazy most of the time. So, yeah, if you want to see that, Snapchat friends. Otherwise, you're going to get more of this right here, which is when I actually bother with my hair. And this isn't even a terribly great curl day for me, but it is what it is. It doesn't look very great from the front today. It usually looks a little bit better from the front. But so essentially what I do to get these curls, because if I were to just run a comb through my hair, like I said, it comes out straight. So there is something I have to do to actually do these curls and to try to define them a little bit more so that they actually look like something decent. And now that we're 4 minutes in, we'll actually get to what I meant to talk about today. So first, it starts before you even get in the shower. Before you get in the shower, brush your hair. I know a lot of people do this, some people don't. Anyways, this is kind of vital because after you get out of the shower, you're not going to brush it or comb it or anything. So you want to brush it first before you get in the shower. And then part it. So for me, I would, this side, I would part it like this before I even get in the shower. And it looks ridiculous, obviously. And then in the shower, shampoo, condition, whatever, as normal, just try not to mess up your part, which you can do easily, actually. And the other thing, if you have like straight hair or fine hair that doesn't really frizz out or anything like that, you could skip the conditioner. Skip the conditioner, because conditioner does weigh down your hair. Now, if you're like me and you have thick frizzy hair, conditioner is a must. So do it, but try to go with the least amount of conditioner as possible. So the other thing I do in the shower is when I'm rinsing out my conditioner, I run my fingers through my hair, break it up and whatnot, get out any big tangles, because like I said, you're not going to comb or brush your hair. Go. Once you get out of the shower. So that's what I do to break up the tangles in my hair during the shower. When I'm washing the conditioner out, I run my fingers through my hair, get any tangles out, essentially brush it out with your fingers. Now the second I turn off that shower, hair dripping wet, I flip it upside down. And that gets a little bit of body in the roots. That's the other thing, especially if you've got thick, long hair like I do, you drag down the roots. So I flip it, kind of fluff it like this when it's flipped over, and then flip it back, and you're gonna get water across the bathroom a little bit. It is what it is. So skip that step if you're trying not to get water anywhere, because it's gonna happen. So now, when I get out of the shower, again, go to the mirror and run fingers through your hair very lightly. It might be fun at this point, it might not. It's very common always this side likes to get a little funky up at the top. So then I fix it with my fingers, get it a little bit wet again. And then the biggest thing, go this way, is then you scrunch it. I mean, everybody pretty much knows how to scrunch your hair. That's a big thing. So you're gonna, from the ground up, scrunch it up. And scrunch it, get some of the water out, and then scrunch it with a towel. Makes a huge difference. You can also scrunch it with an old t-shirt if you want to be a little kinder to your hair, but that's the big thing. Scrunch it with a towel. And what I like to do is take the towel, scrunch it up, and then kind of hold it for a second. Obviously not missing a piece, but hold it up there for a second. And that towel will take out a ton of the water in your hair. Because you're still, at this point, when you scrunch it with a towel, your hair should still be dripping wet at this point. And that will take it out a ton of the moisture. It'll no longer be dripping wet. And you immediately, after you scrunch it with a towel, you will see more definition of curls. Immediately, you'll see more definition. So once you do that all the way around, you can kind of get a bit of an idea of what your curls are going to look like. Because generally, at this stage, I can generally tell if I'm going to have a good curl day, an okay curl day like today, or a bad curl day. So sometimes when I can tell it's going to be bad, then I just give up at this point. So now you've done that, and your hair is probably about 30% dry. It's still pretty wet. That's when you take the mousse. So I use Dove Style and Care. Any curly girl will tell you that they've tried a bunch of different mousses and they have found the one they love and stick with. And this is actually a new product that I tried recently because I'm kind of a product switcher. I like to try new things and I love it. And I don't know if I'll ever use another product. This might be my mousse for this curly girl, and that's saying something. Because even if you overdo it on this mousse, you will not get that scrunchy hair, or that crunchy, just, it doesn't even feel like hair anymore. I can't stand it. I know some people don't mind, but I hate it. So that's why I love that stuff. And so I, put a generous bit in your hand, and then this is where I take it and kind of pat down the hair and then scrunch from the bottom with what's left. Now, most of it should be left by the time you pat down the hair. This is a very light pat. It almost looks like your hair's gotten snowed on, essentially. And then take it, and then with it still there, start scrunching from the bottom, and during that process, you'll get all of it into your hair. That way, you get a little bit through here, most of it's still on the ends. that keeps, for if you have frizzy hair like I do, that keeps up here from frizzing out, even though you've got all this mousse down here. And that really gets pretty good definition to your hair. So once you do the mousse all the way around, go back and scrunch your hair with the towel again, all the way around. And now your hair is probably about 50% dry, 50 to 60% dry. This is the point where I let it air dry on its own. I don't do anything else to my hair. I let it air dry. I attempt not to mess it up while I get dressed, do my makeup, so forth, so on, but I just let it air dry. Now, this is also a point where you can use a diffuser, which I do have, or my mom has a diffuser, and I borrow it sometimes. And that is good, especially if you want to get a little bit more volume in your roots, or a little bit more definition, because you can kind of turn it as you go up. That's what a diffuser is fantastic for. And also, if you need to have dry hair. Like, I work in a relatively casual office, so it's fine that my hair is still a little wet when I get to work, because it's dry within an hour of the time that I get to work, so it's fine. If you work somewhere where it would be like super taboo to come in to work with slightly wet hair, diffuser is going to be your best friend. So that's up to you. And if you don't use a diffuser and you do let it air dry, now this is the point where, like, you know, I do this the second I get out of the shower, and then I get dressed and do my makeup and, you know, grab breakfast, so forth and so on. And then just before I leave the house, when my hair is probably more like 80% dry, I take hairspray. Now, I'm not really particular about my hairspray. This is just the one that I use. I like to use the lower ones. You know, they have the different levels of control from like the really high to the low. I always buy low. I'm not big fans of the high ones, but other than that, hairspray, all up to you. I don't really care. And then I just spray just a little bit from about here down. And I only do that with this new mousse that I use now, because as much as it's fantastic for never making your hair crunchy, sometimes if you don't put quite enough, then it will frizz just a little bit. So that's why I use the hairspray just down at the bottom. Just helps to keep that curl down at the bottom. So that is what I do to get all these lovely bad boys that I get a lot of compliments on, and I love, because even though this is like a 12-minute long video and it's kind of long and I didn't mean for it to be this long, basically all of that takes not even 5 minutes. I mean, you know, shower, scrunch, mousse, scrunch, you're done. It's really that easy. It really doesn't take any time at all. And it's, I mean, like I said, I came up with this method because I was trying to be lazier with my hair. I was fed up with spending a bunch of time with my hair. It takes me absolutely no time. Gets you pretty good curls, no heat, it's much kinder on your hair, and it's, you know, and like, I get a lot of compliments on my hair, actually, and now I love having curls, so it works for me. And like I said, even if you have straight hair, give it a try, because my hair would not have these kinds of curls if I didn't do the things that I do. So that's it for today, and sorry this was so long.